Hello?
Cody, it's Will.
Right, listen, Will, since I've set up...
Yeah, it's got a bit dark, hasn't it?
It has, mate.
Yeah, room light on. Yeah, that's banging.
How's the glare? Is it okay?
No, that's actually perfect. Just to check, how do you pronounce your last name, Cody?
Right, Lachey, Lachy, Lachey, Lachey. Yeah. I've been called worse, mate. Don't worry about it.
I want to get it right, mate. I'll just let the gallery know and we'll do a quick sound check with you.
No worries, mate, at all. How can you... Am I clear with you and everything, yeah?
Cody, hello. Bill here in the studio. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, mate, yeah. How are you doing? You okay?
Brilliant. Oh, fantastic. Great. We'll have about 3 minutes. It's going to be quite quick, so thank you so much for being with us.
No worries at all.
Brilliant. See you shortly. Secretary Dominic Raab has refused to ask the US government for evidence about the CIA's torture and rendition program in order to aid an investigation by Police Scotland. Scottish authorities have been attempting to gain more insight into the use of the country's airports for CIA rendition flights. It follows years of campaigning by members of the Scottish Parliament and the Scottish Justice Secretary wanting more than just verbal assurances from Westminster.
We have in the past sought confirmation. Just to check with you, Cody, mate, can you hear the bulletin coming through okay?
Yeah, I can, mate. Yeah. Just listen to it then, yeah.
Cheers, man. Thanks.
No worries, man. Got you.
Accurate when the US government finally disclosed the use of Diego Garcia for one such flight. I am therefore inclined to seek the report itself, which should be a true and accurate picture, and to seek verbal assurances.
At the heart of the case is the Cyprus Karachi case of 3 Guantanamo Bay, who is suspected to have been on a flight that stopped at Glasgow Preston Airport. 3 heart attacks due to poor treatment he is alleged to have received in custody. We have contacted the Foreign Office for a statement and we'll let you know when they get back to us. For more on this, I'm now joined by the staff, isn't it? And of course, the government really can't sour relations with the US now, especially during such a critical time for the UK post-Brexit.
Well, I'm afraid I think you're right. This has geopolitical
Just lost you for a second there, Keith. Let's see if we can pick that up. Keith, can you hear me now?
and not the noses of the...
I apologise for that. Let's see if we can get back to Keith in just a few minutes from now. In the meantime, we'll move to another story, and that is that Scotland Yard has decided against routinely releasing footage from body-worn cameras following a series of public and controversial incidents. The senior officer has claimed that incidents recorded cases of poor communication, lack of patience, and a lack of de-escalation before use of force is introduced.
Stand by, Cody. You've been moved up because the last guest had fallen out.
No worries, mate. At all. Yeah, I saw that.
Instances. The memo was based on reviews by senior officers of 95 incidents.
Whilst we have seen some exemplary body-worn video of interactions with the public, with high levels of skill, patience, and professionalism, we have seen many more examples where, although the body-worn video does not show any conduct issues, it shows poor communication, a lack of patience, a lack of de-escalation before use of force is introduced, and occasionally poor officer safety decisions.
The Metropolitan Police have been heavily criticised in the past for their use of stop and search, force, and accusations of racial profiling. British sprinter Bianca Williams was stopped alongside her partner and handcuffed by police while her baby son was in the car. An elderly man was also tasered in his home by police and left paralysed.
We've got our previous guest back, so I'll keep you updated. We're just going to go to him again.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Always the way.
And it is right that the public have means to scrutinise police work and raise concerns. Officers accept that they are always accountable for their actions. However, these videos show only a snapshot of an incident and do not tell the whole story. And the circumstances are often the subject of speculation and debate, which can impact public confidence in policing.
We can now return to the story concerning rendition. rendition and an investigation by Police Scotland and concerns with politicians in Scotland about the CIA's activities concerning rendition in Scotland. And Keith Best is back with us. Sorry about that. In US. Well, you know, we tried, but we failed again. I'm sorry about that. I think we'll have to do that another time.
Okay, we lost him again. I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'm ready.
Fears of ISIL-inspired attacks on prison officers has led to the government reviewing how incarcerated terrorists are treated. 2 inmates were convicted earlier this month after attempting to murder a prison officer at Whitemore Prison using improvised weapons and wearing...
You'll be next, Cody. Thank you.
It's believed to be one of 4 terror attacks carried out by prisoners in the past year.
Extremists spreading their poisonous ideologies in prison have been stepped up. We have trained more than 29,000 officers to better spot the signs of extremism, increase the number of specialist counter-terrorism staff, and will separate the most subversive prisoners from the general population where necessary.
Well, to talk about this, I'm now joined by a former prisoner, Cody Lachey. Cody, thank you for being with us. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, sir, yeah.
Can you tell us, are prisons, from your experience, the breeding grounds for extremism?
Absolutely, absolutely they are. I mean, when you're in prison, the way that the prison system is, rehabilitation at the end of the day it's a politician's word, it's a made-up word, and with the way prisons are built is to break you in every conceivable way. Now, when you're in prison, you've got a lot of time, whether that's planning, whether that's plotting, and then if you have this ideology that these extremists have, they can then plant the seed in your brain that then every time they see you, they have interactions with you, they water that seed grows, and then the priming, and like I said, at the end of the day, you
how's
can't...
it done then, Cody, in a high security prison? You'd think that people will be watched and this will be pretty obvious that that sort of thing is going on?
You'd like to think so, but if you look at the last 3 terror attacks that have happened on the UK mainland, Streatham and London and everything, 3 of these people have been in prison for terrorism offences. One of them, the Streatham attack, was actually under surveillance by the police and like the military intelligence services, and was still able to carry out an attack. So, like I said, the way...
It sounds incredibly frightening for those officers who are trying to work there.
But if you look at some of the things, terrorism material, mobile phones, SD cards have actually been found inside the prison. Officers are part of the problem in bringing this stuff in. And like I said, when they're bringing the stuff in for a certain amount of money to top up their wage or whatever that might be for, they don't know what that phone's going to be used for. And like I've said, when you've got these hardcore of the hardcore in prison, they've got time to plot and plan. And then the more they're in the prison, the longer they're in prison, the more dangerous they become. And the fact is, 99% of prisoners, unless serving a whole life tariff, are going to be reintroduced into society at some point. So tougher sentences for terrorists, all you're doing, sadly, in my opinion, you are delaying the inevitable.
So there we are. The conditions under which prisoners are held is actually exacerbating this.
1,000,000%.
And so what can be done?
Honestly, I don't think there's a de-radicalisation programme in prison. Now, you've got to think, right, if you go through a de-radicalisation programme in prison, it's about ticking a box. As the prisoner that's got this mindset, right, it's very easy to do a de-radicalisation programme to tick a box for the parole board that you might have to go before you get released from prison, where you're deemed you're not a risk, you can go back into society and everything like that. Yeah, it's easy to tick the box so prisoners can play the game, do the de-radicalisation programme, but really this mindset's still there. And the thing is, like I said, they might have 10 years in prison, right? But they might have other people that they've radicalised on the wing then people might be getting out in 6 years, 5 years, 4 years. So plant that seed. Look at the way you're being treated in prison. Look at how you're being treated. We're being treated like animals.
So that quickly, yes, you just said the way they're treated in prison. So just very briefly, your view of the behaviour of prison officers then in prison, from what you've experienced, just very briefly.
Prison officers, they're there to open doors and lock doors. The fact is, the prison system doesn't change it. Rehabilitation is a made-up word, and the officers face an uphill struggle.
Cody, thank you for talking to us. Wish we had longer on this, but we really appreciate your time. Cody.
Sorry, mate, I got tripped over my words a little bit there, but very grateful to be on, mate, as always.
No,
And if
it's,
you
all,
need,
it's all good, man. Do you want a clip of yourself on the news? Do you want to send it your way for your socials?
yeah, if you could do, yeah, could you do that?
Yeah. I'll get the ball rolling for you. It usually takes between like 1 and 2 days max.
I follow I think there's like an RT producers channel and stuff that I followed in the past on YouTube as well.
Exactly. Well, the thing is that there's a very solid chance it'll go on the Twitter anyway. But I'll try and get you an MP4 file to download. And use.
Wicked, man. A gentleman. Listen, you're a pleasure, mate, to speak to, and I'll catch you again soon.
Mate, Cody, it's been an absolute pleasure as well. Take care. Enjoy yourself, mate. Have a good one.
And you, mate. God bless. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Much pressure from the POA. That's fine.
Hold on. Right. There we go, guys. Let me just finish this off. Let me delete Zoom. Bam, bam, bam. So, yeah, another interview done. Wasn't the best. Quick and easy, to the point, concise, precise. Like I said, I'm not an expert on this stuff. It's just with the de-radicalization program in prison, it's very easy to do the course, to blag it, tick the box. Yeah, I'm not of that mindset, but really you are still of that mindset. You get released, and the way that the prison system is, it's built to break you in every conceivable way. It actually germinates the problem. Prisons are breeding grounds for extremism. And if you think about it, if I'm in the streets of Manchester and I walk past somebody that's preaching religion, I can walk past them and never have to come into contact with them again. If you're in prison with someone with an extremist mindset, like I said, these extremists, right? And another thing I want to make the point of, extremists are not just Muslims, right? You had, I think it's called Darren Osborne, who was the attacker down in Finsbury Park, a white guy. You had Tarrant, whatever he was called, over in New Zealand, who killed all those people. So terrorists, extremists, come in every different colour, religion, ideology, whatever you want to say. But yeah, the thing is, if you're in prison and you're locked up alongside with someone that's got this mindset, mental health as well, I should have touched on mental health there, mental health, and what they do, these extremists, they can plant a seed in your brain, and then every time they see you, they start to water that plant. You can't get away from them, you're living amongst them. The last 3 terror attacks in the UK, 2 in London, the London Bridge attacker, Curran Butt, the Streatham attacker as well, right? All been in prison for terrorism. All 3 of them went on to commit terrorist attacks. One of them, the Streatham attacker, was actually under surveillance from MI5 and the police. He was in a probation hostel. They can't be stopped. The way the prison system is, it desensitizes, dehumanizes, and makes you even more disenfranchised than when you entered the system. Prisons are breeding ground for extremism, mental health. It goes down that way. So if you're on a wing with someone with this mindset and they plant the seed with you, you might have mental health issues, you might not. You accept this ideology. And like I said, it doesn't represent Muslims. It doesn't represent Islam. Extremists, right? And again, extremists, they're not just Muslims. Right? With white terrorists, like I said, the most recent was the guy, the scumbag over in New Zealand who shot all them Muslims dead. And live streamed it on Facebook, right? Tarrant, whatever he's called, Tarrant Harrison or whatever he's called. So again, but if you're in prison with someone with this mindset, you're being in prison, you're conditioned, and it exacerbates the problem. They plant that seed in your brain, and every time they see you, they water it. You're in prison, you're being conditioned. Your mindset starts to grow. It goes that way. It's crazy, but it's true. But again, people think of it to uneducated people and to people that haven't got a fucking clue. When you hear the word extremist, they straight away think Muslim, and it's not Muslims at all. Like I said, I know a lot of Muslims. I was raised with Muslims. I know more about Islam than I do Christianity. And It's just craziness. But yeah, my ex hung himself in strange ways. Nicola, get my number. Feel free to reach out to me. Let's speak. I've served time in strange ways, obviously. But yeah, I was repping the Shadows cap. I said I would. But yeah, another interview, quick and easy. I tripped over words. I was trying to say plan and plot, but I couldn't say plot and plan and plot. I was like plod. But yeah, and then prison officers, they're not changing lives or anything like that. They face an uphill struggle, and that's the reality of the situation. The fact is, you've got people in power that are residing over people. Yeah, man. Yes. Said I would. Yeah, man. These caps are fucked. I'm gonna have to hit Shadows up, see if they'll sort me some more out. I love these. I've never wore a cap in my life, but you know what? When they're so well made, yeah, honest to God, like straight away I was like, yeah, going on the news, representing it. That interview there showed in the UK, showed across the world. They've got offices in America, Russia, and obviously London as well. Paris, Rome. Goes across different things. International news channel talking about extremism in prison. It's an interesting thing, man. But yeah, it's a hard-hitting thing. But like I said, they've only reached out to me because I'm a former prisoner. That's all. And I've done loads of interviews. So when you do an interview on prison, if they like what you say, they like what you're about, they keep your number on file, and then they speak to you and they're like, Cody, this happened in prison, that's happened in prison. So you talk about it, you express your opinion. It's only that, it's an opinion. I'm not an expert on prison, I don't proclaim to be. But when I'm asked, I will always give my time. I don't get paid for these interviews. I've turned a lot of them down. I've done a lot of them. This is what we're about, guys. Educating, breaking down misconceptions. And like I've said again, don't demonize. Like I say, not all extremists are Muslim. Rubbish. Not all terrorists are Muslim, and we can't demonize all Muslims as terrorists and everything else. At the end of the day, terrorists come in every different shape, colour, religion, race, ideology, and whatever. Like I said, the two that stick out to me, the New Zealand shooter, scumbag, shot all those Muslims dead going to namaz. I think it was Jummah, Friday prayer, Jummah, and this guy had an arsenal of an army and went and shot all these people dead with shotguns. And I'm sure you guys have all seen the horrific footage from New Zealand. He's now lifed off, rightfully so. Then you had the Osborne guy in London who drove a van into Muslims and everything that were going to prayers. This is the thing, man. The video is fucking must. Yeah, man. But yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, terrorism is terrorism in any capacity. We don't vindicate it. We don't support it. That terrorism and extremists is something that just Muslims do. Rubbish. When you're in prison, these prisoners that are convicted terrorists, they're normally Cat A. They're normally Cat A'd off, right? And like I said, there was talk about jihadi jails, a jail within a jail. What happened to that jihadi jails, man? UK Audit's dropping another video tonight, so like, comment, and subscribe to his channel, guys. Press that bell notification. When he pops a video, you will know. Jump on it. Yeah, man. Right, guys, I'm going to bob off. I've got to get some tea. Paul wants to go live with me at 8 o'clock, I believe, so I've got to get off because I need to prep my tea. I need to start boiling some stuff. Hope everybody's well. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry that these have been little lives, sporadic and everything like that. I was sat here and I thought, I'm just going to put the live below the camera and I'll just do my thing. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Bless you all. God bless Ange as well tomorrow for a surgery. Praying that everything goes okay for you, sweetheart. And I'll catch you all at about 8 o'clock, guys, give or take. On that note, Cody is going for his tea.